Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Sydney.
And I'm Rebecca. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started.
How old were you when you saw your first scary movie ever?
Like my first actual scary movie.
Actual scary, blood, gore, boobs.
I think the first scary movie that I saw was Silence of the Lambs, and I was probably around 7 years old.
All right, explains a lot.
What about you?
I was a Disney kid. So, as far as a real scary movie goes, I feel like I went through like a stage when I was 13. I was staying the night at friend's house who had older siblings and being raised by some pretty lenient grandparents. Um, I don't know what it was called, but it was a movie where it was a number. It was a population of whatever, and the population never went down or up, and it was this mysterious land. And obviously, they were just anytime a baby was born, they were offing someone ritualistically. And I was like, wow, it was like what a world. It was more conceptually awakening than it was gory, but they were still offing people. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's like it was some random number. Maybe someone out there knows what I'm talking about. Some George Orwell shit.
I'm really scared of scary movies. I'm not like a fan. I will watch them, but I have nightmares.
Like just for the culture though.
Just for the culture.
And just like during October.
I do like spooky stuff for sure. The reason I watched Silence of the Lambs, I have a sister that is a year and a half older than me. And then my mom was married to this man. So I had a stepsister that was half a year older than me. And the fact that they were a little bit older than me, they used that against me. So they were watching Casper the Friendly Ghost. And they were like, you can't watch this because you're a baby and you're going to get scared. And I was like, I'm not going to get scared. And they're like, well, you can't watch it with us. So I cried and I went to my mom and I was like, they won't let me watch Casper with them because they said I'm a baby. And my mom, I love you to death. She's out there for sure. But she goes, do you want to watch a real scary movie? And I was like, yes. So we watched Silence of the Lamb and she explained everything that happened. So I just remember sitting there and watching everything that's happening and her going, see, so right now he's feeding him his brains. Like, do you get that? I'm like, yes, I do.
Wow. That's cool.
But that's my origin story and that's how I got here.
That's awesome. In adulthood though, I didn't watch any of the Jasons, Freddys, Michael Myers, Jamie Lee Curtis's, Carrie's, any of those until I got with Tommy, actually. He was like, I guess I was talking about, oh, I can't wait for Halloween, Halloween Town, all the classic Disney stuff. And he basically was like, no, let's watch some real stuff. And I was like, okay. So first time I'm seeing these classic films was it Friday 13th. All the old school Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We went a whole month just like nothing but that type of content. I was going to work really hardcore for no reason at all. Just ready for blood for no reason. But yeah, I guess I thank him for giving me the spooky culture or whatever. We're both excited for Halloween. It's our kiddo's second time. Is it your third?
Second Halloween.
But mine too. Yeah. Second Halloween. Lennon was a bat last year. He was 2 months old, so he was just this little thing in a beanie. This year he is obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas, so he will be his hero, Jack Skellington. Shout out to Nightmare Before Christmas. You are the only thing that has ever let me do the dishes without tears.
Niall was a skeleton last year, and I got some really cute pictures of that. My favorite pictures of him ever taken by my friend Anna. He's so cute. So we dressed up as skeletons together, and we did a little photo shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But this
I
year,
love those pictures always.
It's so cute. But he's going to be Spider-Man this year, and he has a bunch of fake muscles, and he's really good at climbing, so it's right up his alley.
Yes. We had a play date this week, and the amount of time he spent on the countertops was basically the whole time
Oh, Niall.
almost. Yeah,
Yeah,
Niall.
he does that.
Yeah, he was Spider-Man is what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Like he was really coming into his character. Lennon was dramatic and on the floor just like Jack Skellington.
He would be for sure.
Just like that, break dancing on the floor. How was your weekend? Did you work?
I did work. Nothing memorable happened at work. It was the Astros were playing, so
Oh
nobody
my God.
was there.
I know everyone's like, oh, the Astros lost. And it's like, yeah, I'd love a hometown victory, love to see it. But not in this economy.
Not in this economy.
I miss money more. Our restaurant does not have TVs, so it is definitely a hindrance on us financially whenever we can't watch sports and stuff.
Go sports. We love sports. Sports.
I had like the busiest weekend of my life. Or I feel like it was because I worked. Tommy had 3 gigs, and Lennon had a play date. We went to a wedding, and we did all the October birthday celebrations on my side of the family on Sunday before I went into work. And then Lennon went to his Meemaw's 91st birthday party on Sunday evening while I was at work. Tommy took him. Happy birthday, Meemaw. The wedding was so cool.
I've been wanting to ask you about it. That's been the hardest thing is I've talked to you more than anyone else this week.
And I love weddings, events. So,
but there's so much that I can't talk to you about.
Yeah.
So I have so many questions. There was a T-Rex at this wedding, like a actual giant skeleton. Was it at a museum? What was going on?
Yeah. So it was I think it was like Natural Science Museum, but it was in Sugar Land. It wasn't in downtown. So it was like the old one. It was very, very regal looking. There was dinosaurs. There was all kinds of rocks and crystals and things like that. Lennon loved it. So it was perfect for him. He was like the only baby there, but I think he rocked it. And he definitely touched everything he wasn't supposed to touch, just like he should. So he really did the most there. Didn't make it to cake or dancing because, bedtime, but we had a great time, and congratulations, Michael and Gabrielle. It was a really cool time, really cool wedding.
Y'all looked very cute.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I had probably the dirtiest hair I've ever had. So that ponytail was not going anywhere. It was coming for Ariana Grande herself.
I sometimes have to go like a week without washing my hair now.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have to do it. We have a 1-bedroom. So our bathroom is in the bedroom, and I try to do it whenever Niall's napping. But sometimes it's not worth it. So I'll just wash my hair in the sink.
Oh yeah. If I take a bath, maybe he'll sleep through it. But the shower.
I shower every single day. I feel like that's important to say. I'm talking specifically about my dirty ass scalp.
Yeah, this is just scalp talk. Definitely bathe, or at least sit in some type of bath once a day. That's
my belly button's immaculate.
My reward for being such a great mom.
So
are you ready to get into?
Oh, there was something I wanted to talk to you about.
What?
So I saw you on Sunday, but we've been working opposite schedules, so that's been really nice. But there has been things I wanted to talk to you about, but I just haven't been able to.
Yeah, let's do it.
So on Friday, we both saw Izzy, but separately.
Yes.
So he left your house, and then he was on the way to my house, and I wanted to give Bear a bath before he got there. And I had a moment of mom guilt that I've been wanting to talk to you about. And I think I kind of mentioned it, but I didn't want to go too into it.
Yeah.
But I'm giving Bear a bath, and then Niall comes up, and he's wanting to pour water on Bear. So he's helping me, and he's doing a really good job, and Bear's a really good boy. So he's staying still, letting me wash him, being very, very gentle. And then all of a sudden, now just starts pouring water all over himself, but he thinks he's still helping. So he has the cup and he's trying to go to Bear, but he's just like pouring it in all over his shirt.
Yeah.
So in the moment, I just thought, oh, okay, so we just lost water privileges. I did try to tell him, hey, get it on Bear, but he wasn't getting it. So I took the cup away from him and I was just going to finish washing Bear as soon as possible. Niall threw a fit. So he's starting to cry. I had to use the big no, which is what we use in our house, because it's all we need to do as just, we say yes a lot.
Yeah.
So
It's definitive at that point.
yes. So I used the big no and he made the sad face and he got really upset. And then he came up to me and he tried to bite me, which he does whenever he's angry. And I just finished washing Bear and then I got Bear out and dried him. And I was still upset, but you know, he'll get over it. But yeah, so I go about my day and then I get to work and I'm just kind of mulling it over and thinking, wow, he bit me earlier. He was really upset.
Mhm.
And I kind of just sat with it for a little bit and I made him feel really bad about himself that he couldn't do that. And in all honesty, it wasn't that serious of a moment that I couldn't have just slowed down and helped him.
Yeah, that's so hard as an adult that like is in the moment and knows there's a time frame of a day. There's a, you know, everything that needs to get done. Probably overstimulated. You're washing a dog. It's a pretty large dog. So that alone would have like tripped me out.
So, something that happened a lot in my childhood is my mom wanted everything to be perfect and right. So, if I was trying to do something, she would just do it. There was an instance where, okay, so my mom's company was doing calendars and all the kids drew pictures and then sent them in. And my mom didn't let us draw the pictures because she wanted to win. So my mom drew the pictures, but she drew them like a child. And then for my older sister, she drew it like more adulty. But it's not good for your confidence. And you second guess yourself a lot. And during that part of your life, you're building up your confidence. And I just felt that I took that moment away from him. And we're on a floating rock. Nothing's real. So what's important? Washing this dog as fast as possible or taking the time to teach him that this is the correct way to do it and you can do it and I'm here with you to help you. So
we're just washing the dog.
Yeah, but I felt really bad about that. But luckily, yesterday we carved pumpkins and I was able to kind of realize what I had done on Friday. So we went a little bit slower and Brian had done it with him a couple days earlier. So he kind of knew what to do already.
Yeah, I actually saw that video and he was crushing it. He was really like those motor skills were awesome.
Yeah,
and
dude.
like Brian said he's kind of, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, I'm sorry. The helicopter in the partnership. So to even watch, you know, him on his page doing that with him, it was just them, I assume, is super cool. And then y'all got to do it. And he's probably a carving master at this point.
Oh, dude, he's so good. He did a front flip, by the way, this like a couple of days ago as well. So he's a mutant.
Like off of something or just
no, just
did it?
I guess it was more of like a front roll and tug, but he's
like a somersault.
Yes,
Cool.
But you know he's barely about to do B2, so I think that's kind of impressive.
Oh yeah,
and then he'll just plank. That's just his thing. He just loves planking. So he did a little flip and then planked afterwards.
I love that.
And his motor skills are crazy.
A good finish.
Yeah, dude, he's a mutant.
On Sunday when I was at work, I got the funniest picture of my life. I was so shocked to open this at work. I got a picture from Tommy. He was with Lennon and Tommy spent the evening together on Sunday. It was just the two tiniest little butt cheeks and then the tiniest little turd in the toilet. Lennon pooped in the potty. on Sunday.
It wasn't
So
Tommy.
no, no. And I'm actually impressed that he got a picture of this at all because I just know how Lennon probably was like hanging on him. And but you know what? Shout out to Tommy for literally documenting that moment. Huge. He's 14 months. So I think we'll be doing potty training sooner than later, but don't even know where to start. But I assume just putting him on the toilet is where it's at. Uh, I guess that closed off my super busy weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't busy at work, so the party was definitely at home on the potty. I think you handled your mom guilt well. You circled back around and you know, did something together that made him feel empowered. And I think you're just going to learn and grow from there. Anytime I'm in the kitchen and I don't have the time or something to show Lennon what I'm doing, because he gets so upset if I don't hold him and do everything in the kitchen. I don't have one of those cool little Instagram toddler towers yet to let him see everything. Also, we're in an apartment, so it would just be another piece of furniture taking up our lives. But I want to get one at some point because he is so into that, and Montessori learning is so important nowadays. I see, you know, kids literally like, oh, my kid's 15 months. She's doing the dishes right now and cutting up her own snacks. And they have those little tools that the kids could do it. And I'd love to be that. But right now, like he's so like, give me my food, or I don't know, it's from the instant gratification of boob.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to have everything prepped. Like, you know, I prep his breakfast, his pancake batter, his everything in the morning.
Diva.
Yeah. Um, but it's because he can't. I feel like if he was able to sit there and watch us more, he would like or actively be a part of it. Obviously, he wouldn't cry so much because he's like, "What are y'all doing?" I don't like being like, "Here, play with this while I go do this." When he needs to learn how to survive in this world, and also starting it so early. I have zero passion for cooking. My dad did that my whole life. My mom's got a few excellent dishes herself. But you know, he was the guy and I was, you know, somewhat of a princess, I guess, and he would make everything, and it's not that I don't have any knowledge in the kitchen, but I definitely don't know enough to be, you know, cognizant of me and a baby when I'm trying to teach myself how to cook still. So as much as I want to like be that for him right now, I feel guilty because I can't teach him everything I'm doing right now because I'm literally just trying to get him fed and stop the tears that way.
It's hard for adults to have patience as well, and they're just babies.
Yeah.
So, I think the important thing is everything is play to them. So nothing is a chore. So whenever they see you cutting or doing whatever, you're
Yeah.
playing, and they
I
just
want
want
to see. I want to do.
yeah, they just want to play with you. And
Yeah. And I want to do that with him too. Um just not around knives.
mm-hmm.
But also with knives, you know, because who better, you know, to watch over and teach than the person he feels the safest with every single day, and you know, in within that safe boundary to say knives are scary, and but not like to the point where you need to avoid them in
Mm-hmm.
life, you know, because I don't want him to think, oh, I need you to avoid this because I'm scared, because I don't want it to ever come off as scared, like no, we can master something and learn safety and move forward and eat food, just like learning to chew food.
How's he doing with utensils so far?
Super good, I think. He's using, it's not like plastic spoon and fork anymore. It's like an actual metal, whatever. Kind of like what I saw at your house the other day. You know, plastic end, but metal spoon and fork part. And I try to offer it to him. Some snacks are obviously bite size, and if it's a snack that I'm gonna eat with my hands, I'm not gonna be like, just for fun, here's this fork, try to eat this granola bar, you know. or whatever I think that he can like smush into. Those are obviously finger foods. But like pasta, I've been trying to do like penne or rigatoni, so that he can stab it and go. Loves pasta, big pasta guy. I'm not an Italian food person, but I like a good red sauce. Big no fan of Olive Garden. Sorry. You can hit the like boo thing. I don't know where it is.
I think this is the beep because I cussed a lot last time. Let's see how this goes. Oh, yeah, there we go. This is my job.
No Olive Garden for me, but it's one of Tommy's favorites, so I'm sure Lennon will experience it sooner than later. How is so I saw your kiddo mastering macaroni, walking around with a bowl, just eating it like so.
So we started using utensils right away. As soon as he started eating food, we gave him utensils. On his first birthday, we got a smash cake and he wouldn't smash into it. We had to get a fork. Like,
Yeah.
He just sat there. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
So we had to smash it for him.
Lennon did too. But honestly, it was a really dense cake. So I understand. Like he like poked it and then looked at us like, is this a joke? But it was delicious. It was just because my mom made it. It was just banana bread with strawberry yogurt as the icing. But because it was more muffin like, it was more dense. So it was more of a poke cake.
I would like to give a quick shout out to Gwen, Sydney's mother, because after the first episode, we finished and she made us some banana pudding. And I haven't had homemade banana pudding in forever. And it was delicious. So we got to eat that and sit and watch the first episode. And I got
smashed it.
Yeah, it was so good. It
was super good. I thought about the entire episode while we were talking. And I was like, I pressed stop recording and I was like, yo, there's some banana pudding. And we hit that.
So thank you, Gwen.
Thank you, Mom. That was great. I think last time we talked about how whenever we ended last episode, we talked about what we were going to kind of talk about, I guess, the type of momage we are. Not that, and then I also ended it by saying, here's my little contradiction. I ended it also by saying, I don't want to be put in a box. And I don't. And that's why I am going to, I guess, preface this by saying, I did say I've 80-20 rule. So when I go on and describe this crunchiness, do know that I am still a person that enjoys sugar every now and then and understands my kid will someday touch sugar or a microplastic of some kind, because it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And I know Becca spent some time this week researching all of that. I went ahead and didn't, just so I can learn, but I do know it's like the leading issue in chronic illness, and obesity, stuff like that. It's a root cause. So here's Becca with microplastics.
Okay, awesome. So something, this is plastic. This does not have microplastic. One way to just know about it before we get into it, there will be a recycling number on it. It's the 3 little arrows. But if you look at that, if there's a number 3, it's a microplastic. So it'll either say the number 3 and underneath it'll say V, or I have notes. I believe it'll say PVC or PEV, but I'll let you guys know just so I'm not lying to everybody.
No, this is great information to be able to check.
It'll say PVC or V if it has microplastics in it.
Got it.
Okay, so the first question that I had is, what are phthalates? Because I've heard that term throughout the years just constantly keep coming up. So to get in the definition, found in microplastics, phthalates are ubiquitous man-made chemical compounds used to make plastic more durable, flexible, developed within the last century. Another interesting thing I found, plastic, fairly new. 1907 is when it was invented. So in the past 1,000 years, that's been a thing. Before that, no plastic, did not exist. So we don't really know too much about the effects of it. A lot of it's still unknown because microplastics, I believe, it's only been a concern for the past 50 years. So we're kind of waiting to see what all happens. But there's a bunch of research to
It's
show.
pretty quick for it to become a concern.
Yeah. Um, so my next question, because when I approach something, I don't know anything. I'm here to learn. So my next question was, what does ubiquitous mean? Because I kept seeing that term over and over and over again. I went onto Google Scholar, and that term popped up on almost every site. It would say it is a ubiquitous material. So for anyone who does not know, it means they're found everywhere. It's in the soil, in the air, in dust particles, in our food, and in our clothing. Fun fact, even the Marianas Trench, which is like the deepest part of Earth, has microplastics in it, like a substantial amount. They are completely unavoidable, and they're also known as the everywhere chemical, which whenever we kind of talked about it, you did know that. So you told me you did.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Them things are everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, they haunt me in my dreams.
So, why is this important, and what effects do they have on the human body? Okay. Am I breathing? Am I making a lot of mouth noises? We can do another ASMR moment if we want. I have a coffee. I can slurp it for you guys.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
I think it's
So
okay.
we'll skip it. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'll grab my coffee and do it for you.
Yeah, go for it. We can do it together.
That's how you know I'm mad.
Okay. So why is this important, and what are the effects on the human body? Much of the effects of phthalates are still unknown, but phthalates are weak endocrine disruptors and androgen blocking chemicals. This means that when absorbed into the body, phthalates can either mimic or block female hormones, or in males, suppress the hormones involved in male sexual development. Phthalates cross the placenta as well. Um, and the reason why I specifically chose to talk about phthalates is because last week I read an article about them being found in
The umbilical cord.
the umbilical cord, which is
I knew
pretty,
just by that.
yeah, which is pretty concerning, I would think.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying because it means that big food, big chemical, they have us immediately, right? As soon as you're born.
Also, something that I found out is the population that's most susceptible to microplastics, children under 3.
Yeah.
Um,
Sippy cups.
Sippy cups.
Pacifiers.
Yeah. So I think a law was passed to make microplastics illegal. And if it wasn't, I could be lying. I'm sorry. I'll post some links. But I did know that Dr. Brown's does not use microplastic. Tommy Tippy. There's a lot of really popular brands that have completely sworn off microplastics. So you can just do a little bit of research and find out what you think is safe for you and your child.
Yeah.
I would say if you're ordering off Amazon and something is extremely cheap, whether it be clothing or toys, you should probably question, why is this dress $3.50?
Yeah.
What materials is it made out of?
Yeah.
Is it going to last? But I'll get into that in a second. So going on to the effects of microplastics, early onset of puberty, interfering with the male reproductive tract development, interfering with natural functioning of hormone systems, causing reproductive and genital defects, lower testosterone levels in adolescent males, and a lower sperm count in adult males. So
that's basically what I think endocrine disruptor means. Yeah, whenever I guess this will kind of translate into whenever you kind of asked me, like, when did my mindset shift? When did it click, like, oh my God, nothing's safe? And that was definitely during pregnancy. My sister, my entire life, she became a mom at whenever I was the age of 8. So I was an aunt at the age of 8, and I watched her. She has 4 kids. So within the span of, like, by the time she was at her 3rd one, shout out babies, I was in college, or I was starting college. So it's like I was finally able to sit down and, like, learn or have a emotionally intelligent conversation with her. I finally had matured and could literally sit down longer than 15 minutes, you know. God bless her. She was a great supportive sister throughout all of teenagehood and all that. She's 15 years older than me, so she didn't have to do all that. She already did it, you know, all the developing. So I watched her with her kiddos. And over time, she changed. She became, you know, more conscientious. She reads like more than anyone I know. Um, she'll like text me at midnight and be like, "Don't ever touch peanut butter again." No context, just like a link to a book.
Very ominous.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh gosh, not that now." But that really happened. And so I watched her become more conscientious and for a reason. Um she saw changes in her kids when this happened, and no one knows better than a mom. So, you know, she felt like for a long time, like, you know, she was the, oh, no one believes me, no one believes me. And I feel like that too sometimes now, so I understand. Um sh you know, she was like, it's in the food. It starts so young. Baby food, stuff like that. Like, if you're not they're testing for metals in the soil, testing whatever, like the best thing you can do is like vet out these brands that are at least conscientious of that and aren't these $3 Amazon finds or whatever. And whatever, I love a deal, but at what expense?
Yeah, no, I'm poor. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm a poor.
I identify as poor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess that's kind of like where that started. When I was pregnant, it went on hyper mode because I'm like, I've got 9 months to figure out what I'm gonna do for this kiddo, and it's gonna affect everything because, like you said, 3 and under.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a strict little thing when it comes to his dish soap, his laundry soap, his cups. If you know, some of them are plastic. I think the better thing to do is the 80-20 thing, because convenience is in that 20%. The best thing you can do kind of with the microplastics thing is there's like what is it, steel, like thermos type
Mm-hmm.
things. Um, they have kids like thermos type straw cups because they always say get the straw cup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that'll teach them everything in the whole world. Get them a straw cup. Um, So that's what one way to avoid it, I think. But I didn't think that I would be getting into that so soon. Like a year, you know, oh, a sippy cup. Oh, I got to find this, got to find that. Pacifier. He took it for 5 minutes. So I never had to worry about that. You know, 5 minutes out of his like whole life, that is. And then toss that. So I didn't have to worry about that. And he did boob. I never had to pick out a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I tried a bunch of bottles. He wouldn't take it. But I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that. So it's like I was able for a while to kind of put all this on the back burner, but I'm here now. It's in my face. The bowls he uses, those little like stick-on bowls, that's plastic. Um,
So not all plastic have phthalates or BPA's in them.
yeah, but if you heat it up,
Mm-hmm.
like there has to be something has to chemically go on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more so what I'm talking about is that once that like warm food touches. And if that's not the case, if that doesn't happen, somebody shut me up and reduce my anxiety greatly. It's not like I'm really able to change anything about that. Um, but I mean, I think it weighs on me. I mean, I've got like that guilt, and that's like setting his food down, like, oh, can't wait to nourish my baby. Oh, but the microplastics, like it eats at me, or, you know, whatever else is in there. Seed oils, I avoid them. But when I know that we're out to eat,
Ignorance is bliss.
yes, I literally say that all the time. I don't like ignorance is bliss. I don't care like what anyone says. Like, if I didn't know this and I was just strictly for convenience, that would be awesome. But I went down a rabbit hole and here I am. And the Lord gave me the discernment of a mother. So, therefore, that information with my discernment, with my drive to be the best I can remotely be for myself and my family, you get anxiety, Sid. And, but it's really just doing my best, Sid, to do what I can to like avoid things and pay attention to brands and stuff like that. But it's a whole nother, stress that, I see some people not have. And I'm
Mhm.
like, that'd be nice. But my sister, man.
I feel like it's like that with anything that you do. If you choose to learn more about something, it will always shift your perspective on how
Yeah.
you view the world.
Yeah. And like, so what? My passion is keeping my family as clean as possible.
Mhm.
Like, who's going to
It
really dock me for that?
it doesn't affect anyone else.
Nothing. Nobody.
Um, my next was how can we reduce the amount of microplastics that we come into contact with? Like,
Okay.
so
Changing your sippy cup to like
yeah.
the steel thermos type of thing. Do you have anything else?
I have bullet points.
Okay,
but
cool. Go. Yeah.
yes, but like
Love that.
I want to hear you talk. I know that this is your bread, butter, and jam. So shut me up, please. Somebody needs to.
I also think using glass jars for storage. I mean, and what's funny is like Tommy's on this too. So before he heats up something and it's in like a plastic Tupperware, and we're really grateful for anyone who gives us leftovers or anything like that. But we definitely like say to ourselves like, "Oh, can't wait to put this, plastic Tupperware in this microwave full of radiation and heat up our food." Whereas like the like super super crunchy moms out there,
What what is crunchy?
so I googled it. But anyway, finishing my thought real quick.
Sorry.
They would be like, "Oh my gosh, the fact that she didn't put it in a toaster oven." Apparently, toaster ovens where it's at if you want to be crunchy, but don't put aluminum or anything in there because then it's just null and void. Oh, it's all.
I have
Um,
aluminum foil in mine. My bad, guys.
oh no, there's no. The thing is, like, we all feel like there's a crunchy police, and they're out there. There's trolls on Instagram, whatever. "Oh, you claim to be that." Well, I saw your kids plastic straw cup, you know? Um,
Oh, sorry, that wasn't. We do have
whatever.
a.
No, bitches. Um, your question was, oh, crunchy.
Yeah.
So I Googled it, like, what's the origin story of crunchy? Um, and it said that they used to call them granola moms, like, granola instead of candy or whatever. And that's hilarious to me because it probably turned out to be crunchy because granola is not good, people. It's not good for you. Oats aren't even good for you. Rice is arsenic. Oats is glyphosate. You really got to vet out your oats company. Don't just be getting Quaker. That's gonna.
None of this is like English to me.
Glyphosate is a starts with a P. Crap. Roundup. Roundup is the brand that you'll hear of a lot. It's a parasite killer. Um, and it's on so much. It's on everything. Oreos, Cheerios, Triscuits, and even on those 365 organic products that you see at Whole Foods, they've been tested for high levels of glyphosate. And glyphosate is inflammatory. So, another leader in chronic illness, chronic inflammation leads to all these other stuff, obesity, diabetes, heart failure. It's just all of that. And America is so hurting because of all of that right now. It's in your freaking food. It's in your food. It's in your water. And it's the, stuff they put in your minds too. You know, they advertise to your kids. They a lot of stuff that's in, I want to do like a dupe thing, like Mountain Dew is not allowed in other countries. There's so much food that America allows that other countries do not. Like the M&Ms here have way more dyes than over there. They use different things. Red dye 40.
That's the one that I know about because I have friends that are teachers and school. One of our coworkers' ex-wife was a teacher, and she said that they banned red dye 40 foods. Like they were like, do not send your kids to school with these foods.
And if you think it's just red dye 40,
they are getting out of hand.
It's like blue 6, yellow 5. I have this cool little chart. I actually sent you, I think that chart, but I also sent you, I think like right when I had Lennon, a list of this like big laundry list of ingredients that just to simply avoid. If it's all on one list, it's like, why not check it out and avoid it? Other than seed oils, that's like an obvious thing. There's no seed oil that's safe other than, it's not even, I don't think they're seed oils. I mean, they guess they are. Coconut, olive oil, and avocado. And avocado oil, see, that one's that's kind of gray area because there's only a few companies that truly break it down correctly and just are honest. And it's a brand called Chosen. It's at Target. But we use coconut oil for everything. It's kind of tasty.
I do use avocado oil.
I've even done it for I use avocado oil as like Pam. Pam's bad. I use avocado oil on everything. I feel like I did it on eggs once and it wasn't horrible, but obviously butter, real butter. Margarine is a molecule away from plastic. I preach that at work all the time because we only have margarine.
No, we do have butter, but
we have butter
upon special request.
We do.
It's kept in a special place.
We do. Yes,
and you got to ask for it.
But I mean, people they'll all say like, "Oh, we've been doing this for years. We've been doing this for years." No, you haven't. The ingredients have changed on you, and they are not legally required to tell you that they have. So, no, you haven't. You've been lied to, and it's the saddest. This has turned into the saddest podcast ever.
No, we'll get back into it.
But super. I mean, it's daunting, but like informative. Because I mean, like I said, who's gonna really knock me for trying to fill my body with stuff that's gonna help it? We can get into sugar next time because I do have some research I definitely want to do just on sugar alone. And like how labels will basically say the word sugar 8 times, but they did it in different ways. So you're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal or something. But really, no, the product is 80% sugar in just different formalities. Yeah.
Keep going. Okay.
What's any other?
Yes.
What would you? I don't even like, because I don't want to put each other in boxes. Like,
no, ask me a question.
I'm not like radical in the sense. I'm pretty radical, actually, if we really got down to it.
I mean, more than your average person.
Yes,
for sure.
Like, some people would be absolutely shocked how we do things, but I just call it doing our best.
So luckily for me, even as a small child, anyone who has hung out with me for a while knows I love drinking water. I love eating vegetables. I love fruit and I love sweets. And sweets is where coffee.
Yeah, kryptonite. That's why I said we're gonna need a whole nother episode on sugar.
But as a small child, I made myself be a vegetarian because one day I found out that beef came from cows. I was like, oh no, I love cows.
That's embarrassing.
I can't do that. I've been eating cows this entire time and nobody told me.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It took me a long time to get the whole bit at Chick-fil-A, the cows.
Oh, yeah.
It took me too long.
It's chicken propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I've always loved eating fresh, full foods. And I recently started eating fish, which I really like. But because of that, I never really liked prepackaged food. I never really cared for food with all these additives because I am an ingredients person. And I also feel like I have a very refined palate. So I can taste all the ingredients that goes in, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
Because I will eat just plain vegetables. And sometimes people will be like, why don't you put seasoning on them? But I do sometimes. But I also just really enjoy the way that vegetables taste
Yeah.
just by themselves. So I'm not too strict on what Niall eats, but he eats what I eat. So
Yes.
he loves cucumbers. He went to a party this weekend and Brian said he was carrying around a cucumber and just eating it. And he was like, dude, that is your child.
His emotional support cucumber.
But so we're relatively healthy, but it's just because that's the way that I am.
Yeah.
That's
where it starts. So that's huge. See, it's not even if it starts at home, it's not even that big of a deal. Like to change things.
Yeah, and so he hasn't had any soda.
Oh,
and
no.
I don't drink soda. I do like Dr. Pepper every now and then. And even at work, if I eat a stuffed jalapeno, I'll go get a Dr. Pepper and I'll pour it into a little 4 ounce cup. And then I'll give my Dr. Pepper to someone else because I just want to taste it. I don't actually want to drink it. I just want the taste of it.
You're just blessing people with Dr. Peppers.
All the time. But yeah, I have this story of whenever I was a little kid and my family, my brother's very health oriented now because he ended up getting psoriasis and it was really, really bad. And he became 100% clear just by his diet. And he was having to get blood transfusions. It was over 80% of his body. It was arthritic psoriasis and it was awful. It was debilitating his life. But he ended up being able to get rid of it through diet. So he's pretty healthy now. But growing up, my family really wasn't. We ate a lot of McDonald's, a lot of just takeout.
Did his doctor ever tell him to change his diet?
I don't think so. I think he ended up doing his
crazy.
Yeah, he ended up doing his own like research and
because you stop being their customer once you get healthy.
But
that's awesome for him. I love that story. Yeah, actually, I love that.
But I was always like the healthiest little kid, and I remember going to McDonald's, and my mom would be like, "What do you want?" And I would tell her, "I want a salad," and she'd be like, "You can't get a salad. You have to get something else." And
she's like, "Their salads are buns."
Well, so I would get chicken nuggets, and then I would get a little side salad, and I would cut up my chicken nuggets, and I would make a little chicken salad. And my mom would be like, "You have to get a Sprite." I'd be like, "I don't want a Sprite. I want a water." And we were poor. So my mom goes, "No, the Sprite's free. You have to get a soda.
This is me treating you."
Yeah. She'd be like, "It's free, so you have to get it." And I'd be like, "But I don't want a soda. I want water." And she'd be like, "No, you're getting Sprite." So I would have to sip my Sprite. But I ate a lot of cucumbers. That was like my main source. I loved English peas a lot whenever I was younger. Carrot, celery.
My mom actually, with all saying this, teaching your kids to have a healthy relationship with food, because something that I have to think about is just because like no food should be deemed bad unless it is expired. There's something that it could add value to your health by eating sustenance. But that's something I need to stop saying. Like that's bad. Because it's just easy. But that puts that food in that box instead of explaining. But right now it's just easy to be like, it's bad. But he doesn't even know. He thinks cookies are like these oat bars that I found that don't have glyphosate.
Are they the ones that you let me know?
Yes. Once Upon a Farms. It's an excellent brand at Target and Walmart. Completely vetted, soil checked. I'm obsessed with them. Delicious. I steal them, the little pouches, and take them to work. But my mom instilled this in me as a kid. She would call it princess food. She would say, "Do you want some princess food?" And when I was in the bath, here, y'all are gonna be like, this is the most spoiled kid in the world. She would run me a bath. I'd have a bath. And my mom would bring me to my bath side a plate of, cauliflower, carrots, um, broccoli, cucumber,
Gwen is a queen.
and dipping sauce always came with it. But I'm not a fan of ranch, so a lot of times it was Italian. So even then, it was a vinaigrette. Um, and she instilled that pretty early on, princess food. So I definitely want to hype it up, instead of like saying bad, because I want to like eliminate that bad out of anything talking about food, because like I said, that relationship, he needs to not like think I'm poisoning myself.
Mhm.
And but like the internet, whenever you're reading it and it'll say literally the word toxin or something, and it's like, I understand that, but if I am supporting his immune system with vitamin C and he's still breastfed, like, I can cool down on myself about his 3 grams of added sugar in a muffin. Um, but
And it's okay to get off the internet sometimes. It's
oh
okay
my
to take a
god,
break and
I
just take a
need to.
nap.
But you know what? I still get stuck in contact naps, and because he falls asleep on the boob still.
You
And
don't want to move.
so before I can like scoot on out of there, because I gotta wait till this kid is out, I'm on the internet. I'm stuck. A lot of people say they get a moms will say they get like a shopping addiction or something like that because they're stuck on their phones or whatever they're doing. And I can't necessarily turn the TV on or something whenever I'm breastfeeding either, because I want him to go to sleep. I don't want him to stay awake. So that's like a little evil in itself. And but there's a control, I guess, that needs to happen for my own sanity. But I feel like talking about it and just rationalizing and understanding that that's not probably these people's lives
Mhm.
100%. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, but I just try to take the ideas, pray on it, see if it's good for my family, and move from there.
I also think that we're pretty blessed. Like life can get hard,
Oh my
but
gosh, yes.
life could be much more difficult. Not
Yeah.
not to downplay anything that we're
No, a
going
thousand
through,
percent.
but some people just simply can't care. Like they don't have the time,
The capacity.
they don't have the energy. They just care that their child is being fed, and
Yeah.
that's all they
And
can care about.
that's fine.
They care
I love
about
that.
shelter, food, and then if they can get a vegetable in there.
Yeah, I can down with that too.
Mhm.
Um,
But
and
also that's being in survival mode. And
yeah, you're not truly able to thrive or grow in survival mode. You're
Mhm.
just able to sustain.
Yeah, you got to get out of that first. And then once you get more comfortable, you can start caring about all the other stuff.
Yeah, I do almost the same breakfast every morning. Just to like have one thing where I'm not feeling like I'm in survival mode or whatever. As
Mhm.
far as cooking goes, cooking, I feel like I'm in survival mode. Picking the food, I feel like I'm there. In life, am I in that? No, but I feel like I'm on a deserted island every time I think about food or what's next. Tommy and I spend too much time talking about, what are we going to eat next? Is it going to be good? Is there what's in the ingredients, stuff
Mhm.
like that? Because he's trying to bulk or bodybuild, and I'm trying to live and be a breastfeeding mom.
Mhm.
And Lennon's just trying to be a baby and continue growing. So we are all in different stages of needing different nutrition and health things, but all at stages where it's vital.
Mhm.
So it's a big deal in our house, for sure. But we're still cool. I still walked past all the Halloween candy at HEB today and dreamt about it. Um, and that's something I literally said, I want to ask Becca today. What is your ideal medley of Halloween candy?
Kit Kats, Twizzlers, Reese's, Almond Joys. Three Musketeers are so underrated. They're so fluffy. Twix. I'm actually not a big Snickers fan unless it's in the ice cream form. Yeah.
The Snickers ice cream though
Mhm.
is next level.
Mhm.
Postpartum, that was my bee's knees.
I also like the Warner's little butterscotch candies because
Warner's Originals.
I'm an old man. Yes.
Literally
at heart.
so good. So Epcot, there's the countries that you can go to. Germany is one of them, and they have a Werther's Original like building where you can get like baked goods and pastries and stuff with that caramel.
Do you remember when we went to Candytopia and they just kept giving us candy?
Yeah.
That was nice.
That was good. That was also before I knew anything that was going in my body. But I was about to leave for Disney, and
it was your
you,
going away thing.
Yes, me, you, and Izzy went to Candytopia, and
you were just
had a lot of
throwing it
fun.
at.
Yeah, they were throwing it at us, and we were eating it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a good time. Did we? I feel like we literally got ice cream after.
We did get ice cream after. Yes, we all love sweets.
That's so us of us to do.
What would be in your ideal little trick or treat bag?
So glad you asked.
Actually, fentanyl, razors.
Yeah, I know,
matches,
right? Free drugs.
I know. I've been having to pay for my stuff for years, like a schmuck, because I haven't been trick or treating in a while.
This is whack.
Like I turned into an adult, and I was like, man, I should get a job, but I could have just gone trick or treating and just thrown my whole life away. But
it's only one day a year.
Not too late. Never too late.
Mine would be definitely the almond joy. And you know what?
This is why I fuck with you.
Halloween. Halloween is the like only time I'll say that though, because like I'm such a little slut for Reese's. Any kind of Reese's Pieces.
The eggs. Reese's eggs.
The eggs. I literally looked at Tommy today and like no context and just said the pumpkin Reese's. Those are so good. But yeah, my ideal package though altogether, I think you only get to pick 4. Almond Joy, Reese's, Kit Kat, and this little one's going to be a sleeper. All right. The original little Hershey's bars. You would eat all of these first, but then you would be done with those, right? And you would go to all of these, because the reason I say that about the Hershey's,
like the s'mores one.
Yeah. Classics. Is because s'mores is my like favorite dessert, but I never just want one of them. So I want to make sure whenever I get down to those Hershey's, I can down 7 of those and, you know, have my day with it, have my way with it. And that's my rundown of the Halloween candy that I would want in a bag and in which order I would eat them. But I do understand in saying this, we would be giving these out. Well, I would have one on the side for me because I won't be trick-or-treating probably. Not with these mosquitoes. Stuff like that.
I would like to ask, have you tried the new holiday Kit Kats that came out? They're green. I had one this past weekend.
They're green?
Yes, they're so good. I did not think that a Kit Kat could be improved onto, but alas, they have.
But like, is it just white chocolate?
I don't know what it is. At first I thought it was matcha, but it's not.
Good. I'm not a fan of matcha.
We can't agree on everything.
We kind of have a Jamie, if you want to shout at him.
Oh, to play a clip or something?
If you need to Google something.
Oh, hey, will you please look up what flavor the green Kit Kats are right now?
What?
The green Kit Kats, the holiday ones.
Seasonal Kit Kats.
Yes.
Right now.
Oh, just
What flavor? Are they just green or they're flavored? All right.
While we're waiting on that, we're also both big fans of potatoes. We both love potatoes, not Halloween related, but you said you were a slut for candy.
Yeah, I just see the green ones. It's called like Witch's Brew.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're just colored.
Yeah, it looks like they suck.
They did not suck, Tommy.
I don't know. Green chocolate?
It's because we're like dyes, really. For something you could have just had that tasted like a Kit Kat.
I just like the original.
I think it's flavored like something.
Kit Kat got famous because of the original flavor. All these other things are like.
Look, Jamie, I think you need to do a little bit more. I don't. It's flavored like something.
Well, I don't know what it's. Oh, okay. Let me look.
Potatoes.
But I found out, I don't know if it's still open, but I found out about the baked potato factory in Houston during COVID. And it wasn't open during this time, but I went on their menu and I was reading all of their potatoes out to Tessa. And like I audibly moaned while I was doing it. But yeah.
I recently grew up and started liking chives.
Okay, good for you. Yes.
So when someone at work like is like, I want a loaded baked potato. Oh, no chives. I'm like, you'll grow up someday.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good. They're everything. So it makes me want to continue to consume more baked potatoes.
Yes, you should, and as you should.
Yeah.
It's a great source of energy, carbs.
Okay, so I got a little more research on it.
Okay, thank you.
It's just those product details. I don't know if it's
The green
what
Kit
they're looking
Kats.
for.
We're back.
Double toil and trouble. Unwrap a magical break with the Kit Kat. Witch's Brew white cream candy bars. So these crisp
Probably white
wafers
chocolate.
covered in marshmallow flavor.
Marshmallow. It's marshmallow. Bitch, it's like a fucking
Covered in a
s'more.
chanting green color, but
Is there any
spell on the
chocolate?
neighborhood will give you lots of help. Ooh, I don't like that. Get your bag today, or better yet, double the magic with 2 bags. They're just like double down on diabetes. Come on.
Ting
All
ting.
right.
Dude.
There's also one more.
Ting ting.
And I just saw this from the dark chocolate lovers.
Love
And
dark
it's just
chocolate.
a Kit Kat Halloween dark chocolate. And yeah, there's not really anything else on it. But
Well, so I'll be taking Niall trick-or-treating on Tuesday, but he will not be eating any candy, maybe one piece, so we'll probably get some fruit and
I actually looked up like what to give your kids in order to support their immune system during a day of candy eating, or possibly a week if your kid is in daycare or something and you don't have the control of that.
Mhm.
And it said really just support their immune system with vitamin C and like a good amount, like a steak or something before.
hell yeah.
Yeah, huge fan of beef liver in this house. Still need to kind of figure out how to incorporate that into Lennon's food. Tommy and I both take 6 capsules of beef liver a day. The ancestral supplement brand, but Perfect Supplements is also a really good brand too, and that's my multivitamin, his as well. But yeah, they said just really like support their immune system. Fun fact: it only takes, and this might be even lower, depends, but I believe what I read, it only 70 milligrams of sugar to deplete an immune system, to like completely, I feel like after I eat a bunch of sugar, I'm like, my throat hurts, my head hurts, like I feel sick instantly. Same with alcohol. So I gotta know, in my heart that they're related, and whenever it does say toxins, it is a toxin. But so just 1 can of Coke would be that. So think about what you do in your whole day.
Isn't it crazy how many people you talk to that start losing weight and they say the first thing I cut out is soda and they just start dropping weight?
Yeah, I knew this one girl in high school, and she said, she left one year for the summer, came back, and she was like, yeah, all I did was 3 months, cut out soda, lost like 50 pounds.
But Coke floats?
I'm not into that.
Really? I'm so into that with Dr. Pepper and Bluebell vanilla ice cream. It's Texas as fuck, y'all, but it's so good. So good.
I was at HEB, and there's I think it's Volman's is the brand. And we love the chocolate milk, but I was getting the pumpkin spice one because I'm trying to make my own
glass container.
Yeah, glass. Make my own pumpkin spice at home. I'm a pumpkin spice person. Sue me. So sorry, but I'm not like the other pumpkin spice people.
I'm worse.
I'm worse. I try to make it at home. And it was all right. But whenever I was checking out, the dude was like, hey, have you tried the root beer one or whatever? And I was like, no. He's like, you don't like root beer floats? And I was like, no, not a huge fan of it. But I'm a huge fan of just Barks root beer, and I'll preach that till I'm dead. But A&W is normally associated with Coke floats or root beer floats, sorry.
Heard.
But you like Dr. Pepper.
I like Dr. Pepper.
So you're like,
and Whataburger also.
they did that.
Yeah, they did that.
You liked it?
I fucking loved it, dude. Loved it. I think we have a cheering button, right? Okay, did it stop or I gotta turn it off?
You're like, it doesn't deserve that much applause.
Calm down.
Stop it.
You're being embarrassing right now.
So one last thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh, I want to finish this list really quick. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just so that way we can like hop onto another.
No, we got time. I just wanted to hit that last one. Make sure I hit it.
Oh, is it about what we're talking about?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. So don't even worry about it. Finish your list.
Okay. So how can I reduce the amount of microplastics that I come into contact with? Like we talked about earlier, it is completely unavoidable. You are going to get them. You're in contact with them right now. They're floating around your house. Yeah.
Doom.
But there are ways that you can reduce them in your life. So I split everything up into 3 categories. Also, I'm going to circle back really quick. But the information that I got for everything else previously that I was talking about, that was courtesy of the National Institute of Environmental and Health Sciences website. Everything that I'll be talking about now, that's just going to be from scouring the internet, Reddit, just different things that you can do. So this isn't as much scientifically based. It's common sense stuff, but I'm not going to have any sources for this.
I don't think anyone's going to come for you.
Okay, well, if you do, fucking don't. So I put it into 3 categories: food, fashion, and home. So we'll start off with food, and some of this stuff we already covered. Avoid heating plastic containers. Microwave safe only means that it will not melt in the microwave. It does not mean the particles won't heat and permeate into your food. Use glass Tupperware. You can also use beeswax papers that are reusable and an alternative to plastic bags. Me personally, ate a lot of vegetables. I have a lot of glass Tupperware. I just cut them and I put them in that, and then I just use them as I go. Next thing, try opting for fresh foods opposed to processed prepackaged food, only because when it's prepackaged, it's going to be in plastic most of the time.
Whole Foods.
Opt for reusable bottles with filtered water instead of single-use plastic bottles. And like we said before, the recycling symbol, try to avoid the number 3. So just keep that in mind. So that's it for food. For fashion, try thrifting. Older clothes have typically been washed more, so some of these chemicals are more likely to be washed out. Something else, and a lot of this stuff, we were talking about being poor earlier, but a lot of this stuff is an investment. Glass Tupperware will last you longer than plastic Tupperware.
Yeah.
Having a reusable water bottle with a filtering system is going to save you money on plastic water bottles that you're constantly refilling. So when I made this list, I did try to keep that in mind because I'm frugal and I don't like to spend money unless I want to spend money. So all of this stuff is also conscientious. I don't want you to go into this thing thinking oh, I have to spend all this money if I want to care about mine and my child's health. It's all an investment, and over time you'll end up saving money.
Yeah, just change. I try to change, think about it as if you change one thing a month, 12 things out of the year. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy because I promise you at every turn there's something toxic that's happening that you can avoid, and that is avoidable because there's other stuff out there. And sometimes they're with the food, sometimes they're even priced less.
Mm-hmm.
But these bigger brands don't want to tell you about them, of course, because they're promoting themselves. We don't do anything Gerber. We use this for puffs or snacks or whatever. We use Lesser Evil, and everything's coconut oil and stuff like that.
That's their name?
Yeah, it's called Lesser Evil.
That's sick.
Yeah, I have a bag over there, and their puffs literally are delicious. We all eat them. We all munch on them. And they're cheaper. They are an entire dollar cheaper than these seed oil metal impacted other foods that just have this big name so people, ride with it.
They're like, oh, well, I've known this brand all my life. It
Yeah.
must be safe.
Yeah.
My grandparents ate this.
People, yeah, and these are the same companies that will without a doubt switch up on you and not tell you anything, and because they don't have to. They made their product cheaper so they can tell you, "Oh, we made the product cheaper for you," but really some stuff had to fall by the wayside in order for that to happen. And what does that happen to you long term? That's really what you think about. That's just touching on the food part. So there's stuff out there that isn't necessarily has to be even an investment. But I do understand that a whole set of something, and I really want to do that too. We only have a few glass to go items, and I'd love to get more because we're always cleaning it.
I have a Sam's membership if you ever want to.
Oh my god, sounds like a date.
Yeah, I think they're only $15. I'm just gonna Sam's sponsor me.
Just her because I'm HEB.
Oh, I mean, we love HB.
Ride or die.
Yeah, I actually only go to Sam's like once or twice a year, but they're really good for stuff like that. So we went over thrifting. Next bullet point: develop your own personal style. By this, I specifically mean avoid following micro trends. Don't buy one-time use clothing and try to avoid fast fashion. You're probably like, Becca, what do you mean, you dumb bitch? You're literally wearing a Halloween shirt right now. Like, but fuck you. This is my third time wearing this, and I've had this for 5 years. If you've seen me first year Freaky Deaky, wore this. If you've seen me at Screamfest, I'll wear this shit. Sid, is that your first time? And you know what? If I did, sue me. But is that your first time wearing that shirt?
No, it is my third time wearing this shirt.
How old is that shirt?
The shirt is about 4 years.
4 years old. So you got it and you were like, oh, I could probably see myself wearing this.
Yeah. And I'm literally seeing myself wear this.
But that's what I mean.
But yeah, that's brands examples. Shein. But also a lot of people are like, they'll post like, oh, cool, got all this stuff for my baby. Shein has been exposed for lead so many times.
For sure.
Just Google it. Thrifting will definitely avoid that because this fast fashion stuff is relatively new.
I think it's biggest contributors of pollution, oil and gas, fast fashion.
Yeah.
Like top two.
And they're associated with sweatshops. Like, oh,
yeah.
What are you really doing?
But also there was this movie, I think it was called like The Worst Person Alive. It's where this girl pretends that she was at a bombing in Paris to like get clout, and she gets famous off of it, and then everyone finds out that she wasn't there and everyone ends up hating her.
I hate her.
Yeah. But something really interesting about that movie is the character worked in media. She worked for like some internet company, not an internet company, but some website.
Yeah.
And her clothes, by the time the movie had come out, because that character was following microtrends, by the time the movie came out, you're like, what the fuck is she wearing? Because she was wearing all this preppy clothes, all these like bright colors, but microtrends, it filters out so fast. So by the end of production, she was completely out of style, and it seemed alien to what she was wearing for something that was supposed to be like consistent. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Don't listen to me. I just say stuff sometimes. Yeah. So to piggyback off that, creating a capsule wardrobe of clothes that you know can be worn a multitude of ways. Investing in clothing that will not fall apart in the washer, that use organic materials. So
minimalism.
Yes. But yeah, just rather than buying a bunch of $3 shirts that are really flimsy, and when you wash them, they're going to start peeling, or they're going to be see-through.
Yeah.
Just buy one really nice $25 shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The last thing for fashion would be try hang drying clothes when you can. So a lot of these clothes that do have like nylon on them and stuff, we talked about how heating them, that also happens in our dryers. There's no reason why it wouldn't. Okay, so that's done for fashion. We are going to move on to the final category, which is home. Household dust contains phthalates, so vacuuming and investing in quality air filters can reduce the amount of floating around in the air. If products are BPA and phthalate free, then most likely the company is going to advertise that because it's a selling point. So just shop around where you can. Use cleaning products that are non-toxic. I'm going to go ahead and plug. I like Dr. Bronner's, and I use it to wash my hair sometimes. I use it to clean around the house. You can use it to wash your floors.
It's Crunchy approved.
Yeah, and I went on the website, and it is BPA and phthalate free. So
I know that's a good brand.
Yeah, that's one for you guys. And I like to use the one that's scented like roses, and I always get compliments on how my hair smells, and I think I smell like a princess after I take a bath. So
that's awesome. And when you're only washing your hair once a week, you want to feel like a princess at least once a week.
For sure.
Right?
Use cosmetics that are phthalate free. There are so many phthalates in makeup. I know I didn't write them down, but I know that Bare Minerals, they don't use phthalates, and there were a bunch of other brands that are committed to not using them. Avoid products. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was it.
Hopefully I'll leave here feeling like you learned something today. I always love a good informative podcast. I usually most times, unless it's a comedian that I love or I've followed for a long time, if it's not informative, like sometimes they'll lose me. You know, I don't relate to, or most of us don't, to celebrities nowadays. So these podcasts, they're just like, I'm rich, you're rich. Let's compare Teslas. Like, I don't get that. I want to learn something and I want to laugh with you. But super important question that we're going to close out on. What is a few shows or a show as a kid that you felt was like a fever dream?
So I know that you told me some of yours. We didn't have cable.
Okay.
And we got cable later. So.
I didn't have cable in my bedroom. My parents in our living rooms, they had it, but in my bedroom, I did the PBS stuff.
Whoa, they segregated you guys like that?
No, it just wasn't like a thing yet.
When?
It wasn't a thing yet. I did get it eventually, but I'm talking about like as a kid.
I watched Saturday morning cartoons, and one that sticks out to me, I feel like you're not gonna know it. It was called Boba 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 Bobo. No. Okay. I watched Hamtaro.
Well, that's why these are fever dreams.
Okay.
Fever dreams are only things that like you remember.
Okay. I can't even.
So they might have not been real.
No, it was real.
But they're real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they might have not been.
I cannot
at the same
even.
Time.
That show was such a mess. I can't even. Hamtaro was about hamsters, and they were called ham-hams. And they would, during the day, their owners would go to school, and they would scurry out of their little cages, and then they would dig underneath.
They lived a double life.
Yeah, so they had a little clubhouse, and they would go on little hammy adventures. And there was one that was like a construction worker, and his name was Boss, and there was like a sporty girl, and there was Bijou. She was from Paris.
They were like the Spice Girls.
Yeah, super chic, totally spies. Yes, that one?
No,
totally spies? Damn.
Maybe.
That's about it for me.
I still think about it to this day, and I want to find it on something. Chalk Zone.
Yes.
Rudy's got the chalk. Chalk.
I remember Rapunzel's song, Rapunzel.
Like in that show?
Yes. Rapunzel. Yeah.
That show was so cool to me. Just
and
he had his little sidekick that he drew. And then Angela Anaconda. Was that a kid's show or what was that?
I think that was a kid's show.
It was like animated, yet they moved as if it was paper mache people. But they would use like newspaper faces. And the girl was like the sourest of things. I'm Angela Anaconda. Like, she was really annoying. I imagined her as like whatever Junie B. Jones would have been. but she was Angela Anaconda. And that show was like, I would mention that to people and they would look at me like I was crazy. So I YouTubed it one time and I was like, look, it's real. Was it good? I don't know, but it had me. And I would eat my little Debbie cakes when I came home from school. My parents let me have that stuff. So it was really cool. And I want to thank y'all for being here for another episode. I want to thank you for being here. This was our episode before Halloween, so we got to be a little spooky. Shout out to Taylor and Lexi for these cool socks that I got at our mommy play date thing that I went to. That was super cool. And we'll see y'all next week. Any closing statements for you?
Thank you guys for joining us. If there's anything that you would like for us to talk about or do you just read about, let us know in the comments. Yeah, this has been super fun.
The support's been great.
Love hanging out with you guys. Like I said, it's been really hard talking to Sydney, but not being able to talk about anything.
It's been really hard talking to Sydney. It's the worst. I'm nauseous.
It's like talking to my mother. I'm just kidding, Mom. I said that like 3 too many times, and I sent her this podcast. I love you.
Well, we love our moms. Y'all have a great week. Thank you.
All right, bye.